Hey Pleiadians, Happy New Year! You're tuned into your 2018 energetics for January. I hope you are having the most wonderful wrap-up to 2017, and I hope this year ahead of you is gonna be the best one just so far. And I do have a feeling that it's gonna be like that for most of us. You're starting out with the January of 2018 with this really strong kind of calling or alignment or even an initiation from your higher selves. So this is a Hierophant card, but in this deck it's portrayed as such a spiritual like alignment of higher self to the divine child that you are, and it's crossed with this Ace of Wands energy. So it tells me that you're going to have a very strong, clear guidance as to where you're going to go for this entire year. Well, obviously, January is a very, very auspicious month to kind of set the tone of intentions that's going to echo out throughout the rest of the year. But this is going to be a very clear opportunity for you to just take this, and I think this is something that's going to pretty much expand for months and years to come, but it begins this month. This clearly aligned instructions on what you're going to do to fully align to this purpose, life purpose of yours. Just look how powerful this is together. Oh, yes. But on the bottom of the deck, you actually have the Three of Swords. So this tells me that for you to come to this point, there's been a series of events that happened. But just be careful not to associate yourself with this energy of betrayal and heartbreak, because it's possible that you have this memory of this wound and you might want to keep associating yourself with it, and you might keep seeking this throughout this journey. When the full moon is there, actually on January 1st, intend to actually just dematerialize all the frequencies that you feel around this kind of hurt, because you've been carrying around for so long. It might be physically addictive, because certain states of emotions are actually catalyzing of certain neurotransmitters and certain hormones are associated with it. So it's very, very likely that a lot of people are attracted to stress and certain emotional states, because even though you don't like the actual feeling, your body physiologically can be addicted to certain levels of hormones and neurotransmitters. So just be careful not to indulge too much in looking for this frequency of heartbreak and pain and suffering. Because, I mean, this journey is predestined and it's very much clearly guided from your higher selves. But it's just up to you if you want to keep resonating with this energy. This is so funny. What I notice here is, oh my god, it's so weird when there's repeat cards. Like, I really personally don't like when when I watch tarot readers on YouTube and that they talk about how many repeat cards there are throughout different signs. But it's really actually uncanny when it actually happens when I read for different heritages. So the one that you have a similar thing to, but actually Pleiadian genetics are one of the most widely distributed genetics in starseed heritage. Like, it's one of the most relative alien species to humans, right? So it makes sense that whoever tunes into Pleiadian energies are also, they share genes with others. Like Syrian's a huge one. Syrians and Pleiadians are usually mixed together. A lot of the times when you have a Lemurian background, you have Syrian, Pleiadian, and Orion. So check that out. And like, yeah, Pleiadian is a very widely mixed genetics from extraterrestrial civilizations. But yes, you do come from this Five of Pentacles energy, wherein you felt abandoned and where you felt such a physical disconnection with the world. Like you felt physical dissonance. And what I'm brought up to actually mention is this notion of the physical human body and your association of shame and kind of heartbreak from this fake conditioning from society that the human vehicle as a inferior vehicle of divinity. Like it's not something that's permanent. So we've been conditioned to feel like we're gonna half-ass through this life and actually start living our fullest when we get to the afterlife that's real. Because that's just what we've been conditioned to think. But when you actually think about it, when we ascend in this matrix, we're actually gonna be immortal as long as that's what you want, right? So you need to start deprogramming this sense of worthlessness and shame associated with this physical material realm, because now you're at a point where you're crystallizing higher selves intentions to have this divine marriage of physical form with the higher realms. But actually this also tells me this absolutely aligned opportunity you're getting. You have this feeling like you're not recognizing this as that divine path. Maybe because you've been so disappointed in the past that when this opportunity knocks on your door, and you're gonna take it because you're gonna take it, but it shows me that because you've had so many different rejections from the past and places where you thought opportunities were coming to you but it didn't work out very well, you might have this resentment towards new opportunities knocking on your door. Like, oh yeah, here we go again. It's not going to be the real deal, but it is the real deal. But like, things are always changing, right? Times are always changing, and maybe what you needed to experience through those rejective experiences is just to overcome this sense of worthlessness that you felt in the past, or the fact that you kind of rely on that opportunity to be it, for it to be like a magical shift that you don't have to work towards anything anymore. You're looking for this like final, you're looking to just kind of rest out after this opportunity kind of changes your life. But I think you're realizing that even if this comes about, this opportunity comes about, you're not done anymore, and you don't rely on a single thing, and you never associate your path with any certain manifestation. What you're learning is that there's this conditioning of people saying there's only a certain amount of opportunities that knock on your door, and if you miss it, then that's it. Or you only get one shot in life, like that Eminem song, like you only got one shot, do not miss your chance to blow, because opportunities comes once in a lifetime. No, that's not true. I think maybe that's what you needed to learn, and that's why so many of these experiences happen, because as you have these things happen in your life and you continually find new opportunities, it's like, are you getting the hint that there's endless opportunities and infinite manifestations of these opportunities? So don't ever think when you see the perfect opportunity or the perfect soulmate, that's not the end of it. Like, you can always manifest new ones. What actually matters is the core essence of your willingness to learn and your willingness to align to it. There's countless opportunities. What is crowning your position is the Three of Cups, and I'm laughing because this is so similar to the Andromedan reading. It's similar to the Pleiadian reading. I feel like maybe some of you are mixed genetics. Like, completely, honestly, I have so many different extraterrestrial DNA. I have like 5 different ones that I know of thus far. So it's very possible that you might want to check the other ones out. The Andromedan one, the Syrian one, and the... Is that all? Yeah, for now. But yeah, you're going to be celebrating because you're going to be taking this chance. Even though you feel kind of apathetic about it, you're going to be taking the chance. And so there's this joyous celebration that follows this energy. Prince of Cups. Yep, and you're going to get that offer. This offer is going to come from your willingness to accept whatever this opportunity is and your willingness to align to it. Even if you are kind of in this weird mood of whatever, look at this, another opportunity. But it's going to be made clear that it's going to be this, look at this chalice. Both in the cards, you see this divine chalice that you're going to take. That's an improvement because you go from 5 of Pentacles to the 6 of Pentacles. And what's interesting about this 6 of Pentacles is it's very spiritual. So what you're giving to others, is this spiritual crystallization of resources. So it's not necessarily just money that you're able to share with other people, but this frequency that you hold from this spiritual authority and sovereignty that you have. And it translates into this next level of abundance that we're all grounding as a collective. This chalice keeps being offered in these different various cards. And so whatever is being offered to you is very emotionally fulfilling and also translates into multifaceted crystallization of that frequency. But yeah, you're very powerful. In your environment, you have the 8 of Wands, which means things are going to happen really fast, really quickly, and you're going to get a bunch of messages in January regarding how this is happening. I think that you're going to make some moves. You're going to be aligned to this divine inspirations, and it's not going to feel like a resistance. You're only going to be doing what you want with the flow of inspiration. I think you've learned to be in that state of aligning with the natural flow of things rather than facing resistance in this or that or judging yourself for not doing what's right at certain times. You are learning to tune into your intuition so much, and that's why you have this Hierophant as middle of the card. I know Hierophant can sometimes be like tradition or religion, but in this context and in this imagery and in this whole thing, this just shows how aligned you are to your higher selves. It's like a direct line. Hopes and fears, you have the 10 of Wands. So sometimes you're kind of afraid that as you go through these tumultuous changes and quick shifts, you're afraid that it might be too much effort and it might be too hard on you. But what you're forgetting is that because you're really aligned to your higher self, whatever you end up doing is not going to feel like resistance. The same amount of action that you take when in an inspired state is so much more effortless compared to when you're just trying to do it from the egoic perspective, because you're literally programming the currents of the universe and aligning to it and surrendering to it rather than just perceiving yourself from just the egoic perspective. Yay! You get some sort of offer as a final result. So everything here is going to be crystallized into one final kind of like push of an environmental change, a physical change, a tangible change. All of these energies are adding up to this tangible change. And I think it has a lot to do with this moon cycle. So January 1st, auspiciously, is the full moon. Make sure you intend to shed from this hurtful energy of the past where you had all these different opportunities and you were putting all your hopes up on it. But just remember, again, I'm going to repeat myself, remember that when opportunities knock on the door, it's that sense of putting all your hopes in that. Like, don't put all of your hopes in that. Just know that you're the really good thing that matters and not that opportunity. You're the one who attracts all the things magnetically and align to it. And there's infinite opportunities. There's not just one. There's like countless doorways ultimately leading to what you want. There's multiple universes at play that you can interweave. Don't worry about other people. But what's good is that you have this Ace of Pentacles and it feels like so prosperous, so abundant. It feels like there's no need for you to even worry about having a sufficient amount of anything. And there's just enough to share with everyone around you. And it's almost like you're not even giving them by giving them resources in the physical realm, but just your emanation of this spiritual hierarchy that you've achieved with your higher self in this alignment you're pretty much teaching people to resonate with this instead of like literally, it's like teaching a man how to fish instead of giving him a fish. This is the energy that you emanate. Wow. This oracle card that you received, 19, Dream a Beautiful Dream, is about your appreciation towards beauty and how it's a more holistic approach to manifesting beauty rather than this superficial beauty. So if you have a negative connotation of beauty and think that it might be just a social, like, material, and if you have some sort of guilt towards being drawn to beauty, just understand that your emanation of beauty is so different than the traditional aspects of beauty that you are designed to kind of be shameful of or fear or just be misaligned to it. This also tells me that there's some sort of situation in your life that is really, really perfect for you, and you're going to find some really beautiful solution to healing it. But first you need to tune into how that could possibly happen, because there's some sort of solution that lies underneath it, and there's a really, really amazing solution that's about to emerge out of that whole situation when you tune into the actual frequency of that situation and see why it's perfect for this time, rather than trying to impose or manifest something else on top of that in order to replace it with something. What's actually interesting is on the bottom of this deck, while I'm shuffling this, is also a field of dreams. So you got 2 oracle cards mentioning dreams. So I would definitely be really mindful to what dreams are coming about, and also programming the dream from the night before to intend it to bring you some sort of information or some sort of experience that you want to experience. So a lot of the times, if you ask very specific questions towards your higher self and intend to find out the answers in your dreams, it will tell you. For example, this channel that I made on YouTube, I was asking before I went into my dream, I was asking my higher self how I can align more to my life's purpose, and they were like, gave me a pretty clear answer of me starting this YouTube channel and using all my tarot cards to help people. And when I fucking heard that, I was like, are you serious? I'm not gonna do that. That's ridiculous. I would never do that. But it's like, I couldn't ignore that because it was very direct. Like in my dream, they give me really, really precise instructions sometimes, such as read a specific book that they will give me the author's name when it's like not even in my conscious peripherals. Very specific. Or they'll tell me to drink like chaga mushroom tea when it's like so random. It's like something I'm not even thinking about. They'll like communicate to me very directly. So I knew like I have to start this channel on YouTube. Like I was not receiving that very well, but you know, I have to be honest to myself. And now that I really started it and I'm on my way to keep aligning to it, I understand why, because it gives me such a profound sense of joy when I do this. Because I already like read so much tarot cards for myself that it makes sense. Like, why wouldn't I? Oh, this is so perfect. This is almost like a perfectly weaved story. First, it tells me you start out in this stuck in the mud position, and it's very similar to that card you got about Dream a Beautiful Dream. There's a situation in your life where you feel like you've been stuck in this mud, stuck in this place where you couldn't get out of it, and there's no way you could imagine yourself navigating through that because you can't really think of a solution like from your linear mind. But there is a movement in that. Like the main focus of this oracle reading is this movement when you tune into your inner compass. So this inner compass is like your higher self, and it's about seeing the situation from your higher self's perspective and really understanding why this has happened the way it did from the past and up until now, seeing the perfection of this situation, and whatever answer you can come up with is actually the reason. You know, sometimes you're like, you come up with an answer and you feel like, oh, this answer is too good to be true. But if you can actually think of the answer, if you can conjure the answer in any way, shape, or form, if you can imagine some sort of timeline happening in the future, it's definitely true for, a certain timeline. Because if it wasn't in your probable outcome, it would not be imaginable. Whatever is not probable as your outcome, it's like you wouldn't be able to imagine it, because imagination is a higher language of reality. Thank you so much, Pleiadians, for tuning into this. I love you guys. I hope you have the most amazing January. Give me some feedback if you liked this video and if you resonate with any of the stuff I said. Bye!